What are you doing up there?
Staying away from you.
That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you?
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, problematic Spider-Man. For years, woke skulls have been tearing down established heroes with great levels of success in America, while failing to do so with those pesky Japanese mangas, and screaming problematic till the cows come home. Give up on Berserk, Twitter. You will never change the manga or the fan base. I mean, it's really staggering how many adults can't seem to handle adult themes today. It's weird. Well, back on subject, Spider-Man as well as Captain America have been routinely pissed on as of late. Even as recent as April, a TV station in the UK, I like to call the UK the woke central, because you can't even say something mean to someone without the police coming to your house. We came here to check on you because we got word you put out some egregious little messages on Twitter that made a boy in a dress cry. Would you please come out here so we can arrest you? You bloody sod. Well, anyway, the UK show took the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire and removed the line, "That's a nice outfit. Did your boyfriend make it for you?" Which is classic Spider-Man quipping. For those into Spider-Man, you already know that a lot of the things he said was to throw his enemies off, to try and keep them off balance. He was less likely to get killed that way if Doc Ock wasn't fully focused. You know, you make a tubby joke, and all of a sudden that claw that was going to rip your head off just slightly misses. One tweet from Paper Plane on Twitter set the narrative. Where the hell's that tweet? One tweet from Paper Planes on Twitter set the narrative. It was homophobic. And I quote, "They removed Peter Parker's homophobia." And once the buzzword spell was set in motion, there was no turning back. News outlets picked up on this and ran with the tweet, while also ignoring the following tweet from Paper Planes that stated that it wasn't homophobic.
"This is getting way more attention than expected. I just want to say, no, the original line isn't homophobic. It's been a joke for a little while now."
And Spider-Man is insensitive to this man's husband.
Screen Rant even did a video for the subject at hand. For those that don't know, Screen Rant is CBR with Down syndrome. Let's play that clip, Stu.
Hurry it the hell up. I don't want to look at this any longer than I have to, because I swear to God, I really want to limit retarded in my day.
It's over. We are screwed.
Observation from Twitter user PaperPlaneTF that British television channel ITV2 removed Peter Parker's homophobic line in the wrestling scene in the original 2002 Spider-Man. The line wasn't dubbed over or anything, just removed, and perhaps important to note that the movie is 20 years old. The joke is absolutely homophobic, yet it's also representative of the problematic humor of the time in which it was made. It's not like the line added anything to the plot, so why be hurtful? But it is an interesting debate, so let us know where you stand on it in the comments below, and keep checking out Screen Rant for all of your updates on movies and TV.
No.
Wasn't that a lovely clip? I can't, dude. That whole clip was a train wreck of, like, they literally didn't even check the dude's second tweet and they ran with it. The line is totally homophobic. Talk about being scared to death of having an opinion other than what is politically correct, to the point of where you'll look at something that isn't inherently bad. Wasn't that a lovely clip? Modern geek journalism, where everyone is welcome, but actual fans of the IP. And if Twitter says something's homophobic, we fully and wholeheartedly agree, because we support diversity here. You could tell Screen Rant that green is blue. And if Twitter had a mob of people with the LGBTQ flag in their bio say it, Screen Rant will put out an article the next day talking about the new shade of blue.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we come to the part of the program which is always my favorite because it means something.
This video is sponsored by Surfshark, my favorite VPN for all of my shenanigans, especially when it comes to acquiring weeb treasure, where I use my VPN to disguise myself as a Japanese citizen to acquire the finest in Gunpla model kits, and snacks I can't even read the titles to. Surfshark is here to clean up your web experience. Block those pesky trackers and cookies. What a man looks at on his own time is his own damn business. Get out of here, Google. Surfshark even goes the extra mile by writing a blog that explains to you how you can even save money on airline tickets using a VPN. This is crazy. I didn't know you could do this. Let's not forget, you could use Surfshark to watch region-locked content. Wink, wink. Click the link in the description or use the code IT'SAGUNNA to find out how you could save 83% and get 3 months off for free. And guess what? If you don't like it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can't lose. Just recently, a mod was banned on the Nexus for being homophobic quotation marks, according to the usual progressive Twitter users. And once it was banned, the mod was rejected as a symbol of hate everywhere on other sites. But how is changing the pride flag to an American flag homophobic? The long and the short of it is, it isn't. And if you think it is, you really haven't experienced homophobia in your lifetime. Take it from me. I've been beaten up violently and accused of being gay in the hood. They wrote the F word all over me that I can't use on YouTube with spray paint, mind you. And they drew dicks all over me. So don't you talk to me about homophobia. I know what it is. I've experienced it.
This is funny. He's gay!
See, this is the equivalent of saying to someone who works out that they're fatphobic. And fatphobia is steeped in racism. Therefore, you are racist because you work out to avoid being fat. And you encourage other people to engage in exercise. You are not only fatphobic, you're a racist. And if you think I'm joking with that, check out cringe TikToks that support this theory and spewed all over the internet. This is what we call, in the business, false equivalencies. There are more layers to this, but I'm not going to go into artistic detail about everything. Short Fat Otaku covered it pretty well, and I'm pretty sure he'll do a follow-up video, so go check that out. Anyway, 2018's hit video game, Spiderman on the PlayStation 4 has finally made its way to the PC, with an amazing port by Nixies. All reviewers, not driven by some form of needless activism towards video gaming, loved it. It runs great even on the Steam Deck. It is absolutely wild. As in all things gaming, while the fans rejoiced for something, gaming journalists see nothing but evil. Now listen, I know gaming journalism has been bad for years, so I'm basically preaching to the choir. But it ramped up a lot after Trump was in office. This phenomenon is what we call in the business Trump derangement syndrome, where everything is just horrible and the system is inherently flawed, and only my political views can liberate you from the ignorance of your racism and fatphobia. Do you remember that time, right? Kotaku reviewed the PS5, and the article became about the journalist's own existential crisis, and it was about BLM and riots and how America sucks. And it's like, bro, I want to know how good the PlayStation is. I don't give a rat's ass about you marching. What is wrong with you? Could you imagine if you went to buy a sub at Subway's and the dude behind the counter was making your chicken sandwich or whatever, and then he just goes into how the system is flawed and we need to protest fat phobia or whatever? You wouldn't want to go back. You wouldn't want to hear this person speak. You're like, listen here, ass provolone. And then he's like, oh, white cheese. It figures you'd like white cheese. It's like, in no other medium could you be this obnoxious. Well, anyway, Polygon is no different than Kotaku.
Spider-Man Remastered on PC review. All sparkle, no substance. Looks great on the PC and a Steam Deck if you're okay with being a tool of the state.
Well, I guess me and a few million others are tools of the state. The article starts off complaining about the game not aging well. It's Spider-Man the game, and it's only 4 years old. That should tell you the mindset most people have these days, where, whoa, 4 years ago, it was literally the dark ages because Trump was in office. It was horrible. I remember a time when people used to say this kind of stuff about, like, To Kill a Mockingbird. You know, like, oh, it was a subject of its time, or something else. You know, some piece of media or literature that was so long ago, literally 2 or 3 generations of people have died. We now are acting like 4 years ago was like 40. or even 100. Frankly, with all the robbery going on in major cities, I think celebrating cops is less problematic than making excuses for criminals, having a free-for-all on an almost daily basis. But what do I know?
Marvel's Spider-Man 2018 already got a remaster for the PS5 back in 2020. And now it's been remastered for Windows PC as well, with spin-off game Miles Morales to be released on the PC later this year. And despite its glossy sheen on 2 new platforms since its release, it hasn't aged well. In fact, its celebration of both the police and the surveillance state is downright cringeworthy today. Newcomers might expect some twist ending in which Spider-Man discovers and unravels a systematic corruption. But Spider-Man is still just as surface level as the new coat of paint that this remaster offers up. There are criminals and there are civilians, heroes and supervillains, and nothing in between.
How terrible. Oh no.
Well, Maddie, it is a game, you know. It is entertainment. It is escapism. You know, mindless fun? I'm sorry, the devs didn't make changes after 2022 to denounce the police properly. The game is now problematic. If you didn't think it was bad years ago and you don't think it's bad now, guess what? You're all right.
Although its crisp new coat of paint is an undeniable upgrade,
The ray tracing in this game is fantastic, like for real though.
Marvel's Spider-Man can't help but show its age. It reminds me of the Brooklyn 999, cute, funny, and ultimately propagating a series of comfortable lies about the NYPD. It's why, as I play, I spent so much more time on my Steam Deck, doing chores around the house rather than advancing the main story. I've been visiting every single one of Harry Osborn's research stations, which gives Peter the chance to use both his superpowers and his scientific know-how to clean up chemical spills and right environmental wrongs. And more than once, I wish the entire game could be as satisfying as those research stations. But these little side quests don't advance the plot, and they offer barely anything in the way of story, tidbits, or character development.
Damn it, why couldn't Spider-Man stop eco-terrorists? Why can't we show the NYPD as the corrupt pigs they are? It's like, how do you become a journalist for gaming and you just don't enjoy gaming? I'm not a movie critic, because I hate most movies, see? The review did touch on the overall polish of the game being actually great, which for PC ports is real hit and miss these days. So it's nice to see that Sony really did make sure that the game launches damn near flawlessly, which is what the review should have been in the first place. If I still checked out gaming journal sites for news, I would want to hear about the game, not your political views. Then Maddie went to Twitter and posted her grievances there about the game. Let's take a look, shall we? Don't worry, you're gonna love it. I can taste those meaty hot takes in my mouth. One escaped prisoner idle dialogue bits. It's been too long since I got to hit someone. You know how criminals are. They're just criminals, see? Not like civilians, you're simply one or the other. Has Maddie ever been to New York? Listen, in New York City, there's a problem right now where homeless dudes are punching old people. A lot of them Asians. Just guys walking up and knocking out people for no other reason than they could. So frankly, that bit, pretty on the nose for me. It's called the knockout game. It's existed even when I was a kid. This is how you know you're dealing with people that have never been in the jungle. They haven't even been in the concrete jungle. The closest they came to a jungle is the Jungle Book. Or like Jumanji with Robin Williams of The Rock. That's as close to the jungle they've been to. They have no idea how absolutely savage the streets are. Savage! This chick is like, oh, see, criminals talk about punching people. How fake. I can drop you off in the Bronx. You'll be running in no time. I'm done. I'm out of here. My head hurts. My head hurts from that one. Oh my God, have you been on a train? Girl, have you?